want to thank Simon for bringing that up because as a question I wanted to ask today was about overcloaking because, yeah, I definitely feel like that has dominated all of my life.
Yeah.
Probably since being on this path, I can probably remember 2 times where I actually felt like myself.
Yeah.
Because I found it quite difficult when you had given us a list to run through of things, emotions to feel about how you felt for the day. And whenever I've gone to look at the list, whenever I wake up in the morning, I look at it and I can't circle one of them because I don't know who I am today. And yeah, and there's the question I would like to ask is how do I reconnect with myself when I've only had a few blinks of light of who I actually was.
Mm-hmm. Very difficult, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I find I'm a carpenter and I know now that it is fear when I decide to leave my body.
Yeah.
And there's also a spirit interaction coming in where they like to torment me in a way. For the humour. Because I can feel myself leave my body at the instant of fear, usually from a projection of anger. And it's because I'm using a hammer a lot or sharp objects, it's almost like you're underwater is how your vision goes, so it's cloudy, and your body doesn't feel like it's connected. Gravity sort of changes in an instant.
Yeah.
And I get afraid when I'm using my hammer because I can feel it happen through a projection, and no matter how much I think about it, in about 30 seconds I've hurt myself somehow.
Yeah.
But I've hit my finger or cut myself. Yeah, I'm scarred all over because of it.
Yeah. So they project anger at you, you go into a state of fear, you go out of body, and then within 30 seconds you've injured yourself generally.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the worst part is you can see it happening and you cannot stop it. Intellectually. You just...
So how long has this happened for you, Tim? Like, how long has this been going on? All your life that you can remember? Yeah. Just stay present, Tim. Just stay present. Stay present. It's okay to feel fear. Stay present. That's it. Just stay present.
All of my life, yeah, and I've put it down to just being goofy.
Yeah, and other people would have put it down to you being goofy too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
tried to laugh about it often.
Mum and Dad said probably you're accident prone and all that stuff. Yeah. Stay present. That's it. It's okay to feel the fear, man. That's it. So what I want to do is just explain to you what's going on for you, and then give you some practical things to be able to deal with it, like in terms of overcome it. Now, the spirits don't want you to hear this, so what we're going to do is just pray for you to just be protected from them for a little bit, so you can at least hear this. The spirits with him are quite nasty to Tim at times. They have this viewpoint that if they project anger at him as a joke. They feel that they can project anger at him and he'll do something stupid and then they'll all laugh at him because of it. That's how they do it. They actually are not very powerful spirits at all, Tim.
No, they're very weak.
They're very weak. They actually can't harm your life very much at all. That's the truth. But these are guys who have passed into the spirit world, who just get a lot of joy out of watching other people's discomfort. They're the kind of guys who you would imagine on Earth, who would drive along in a souped-up car, terrorising people just for the joy of it. Do you know what I mean? On Earth, and then they've passed into the spirit world, and they still try to get the same. They still try to get the same kicks emotionally by doing this to Tim. So the first thing to understand is that there is no reason for you to actually be afraid of them. They have no power over you, actually. And the only power they have is the power you give them because of you going out of body. And the only reason they know that you can go out, they know you'll go out of body every time you feel somebody's anger. So let's look at what's happening for you. So there's you. You've got this group of spirits, and there's a number of them, as you know, around you who've been around you most of your life, right? Yeah. And they're just hanging around you because it's somebody, it's the way they see it, it's somebody weak I can pick on to actually just torment. If you can imagine them like a group of schoolyard bullies, like that's what they're like. They're actually totally powerless, though, in the spirit world to actually do it to anyone on earth. So what they've got to do is hook into an emotion. They've got to find a person with a specific emotion. And the specific emotion is, I'm afraid of anger. I'm terrified of anger. That's the emotion that they're looking for. So what they did a long, long time ago, like they were searching. These were men who passed over in the, before Tim even was born. And they just were searching for men, children who had been born, who had this emotion. Now, they don't even see it as an emotion. What they see it as is a colour within the spirit body that they can recognise as somebody that they can pick on. Does that make sense? That's how they see it. So they're just scanning the entire audience right now, looking for a person with the same colour. Does that make sense? If I find a person with the same, I can pick on that person. He's exactly the same as Tim. I can do the same thing to him as I'm doing to Tim. Does that make sense? And that's all they do. That's all they spend their life doing at the moment. So that's the group of spirits who are around Tim. So Tim, what they're connecting with is your fear of anger.
I've come to realise over the last couple of weeks that that's exactly it.
Yeah. You're terrified of anger.
I've had that a lot in my early stages of my life where my father left when I was 4 and I was without a father. A stepfather came into my life when I was about 12. I've always felt confused quite sexually, and my mother and my older sister, they fought aggressively, and I was extremely afraid of that. And I feel like that's where I left myself quite often because I didn't want to be a part of that because I felt in danger myself.
Yeah. Okay. So the fear of your anger is the emotion, but your response to that emotion is to go out of body, is to withdraw from your physical self. And it's the act of withdrawing from your physical self that causes your injuries, which then, of course, heightens their enjoyment of the entire process.
I feel laughter in the air as it's happening.
Yeah.
And I feel anger towards them. I feel like I should laugh at myself because I feel goofy, but I feel anger because I've come to realise what's happened towards them about what's going on, but obviously that anger doesn't prevent it from happening.
No, it won't. So what's kicking it off is the desire to avoid anger.
Yeah.
So that's what's kicking off. You desire to avoid anger so much that you go out of body whenever it's present. And as soon as you go out of body, all these things happen, of course, within a few moments. And that then just, makes you feel even worse in the end. Now, the things to address are these. Firstly, I want to get away from somebody's anger. So what I need to do is, in my emotional processing work, is to just put myself in my room or something like that and to feel the anger that these spirits are actually projecting at you. Now, I've had millions of spirits projecting anger at me all at once, and so I know how intense spirit projections can be. So what I did with that was I just stayed in my body, stayed present in my body, laid on my bed, and just allowed all this anger to just come at me and just allowed my fear to be present, and I stayed in my body feeling my fear. So I allowed all my body to shake and feel terrible and just allow the feeling of fear to overcome me within that space. And during that time I just pray to God, just allow this process to keep going. Allow this process to keep going. Allow this process to keep going. And I just allowed it to keep going and keep going. And I've had to deal with it many times, of course, so I've had many experiences like this. And what happens is that I stay in my body the entire time. And what I try to do while I'm in my body is breathe. One of the best ways to stay in your body is to breathe diaphragmatically.
Yeah, I noticed I tense up. I didn't notice that I tensed up until we had that fear revisited, when I allowed myself to breathe through it.
Yeah.
And I noticed a lot of physical effects have died off, to do with gastric and all that. And
Yep.
but yeah, I've understood that staying in the fear is obviously going to be the key to letting it out. Yeah.
Yep. If you can just pass the microphone back to Millie, because she's got a few things she wants to add too. So. Turn it right up. Yeah.
Just about staying in the body, I've found that like sitting on like a blow-up type cushion, like on the ground, kind of like connects you with your bottom chakras,
Yeah.
and helps you to stay kind of like
Present.
a bit more of a present in your body.
Yeah. For me, that hasn't always worked, I've found, because when I often sat up, I would compress my stomach, and that would actually stop me from breathing. So it just depends a bit on different emotional injuries you have. For me, having my body stretched out so that this part of my body could stay open, and then breathing diaphragmatically into the diaphragm area was the way I could stay present in my body. The other thing, you need to concentrate on staying present in your body during the day. So my suggestion is in the morning, get up and do some exercise first. Do you follow me?
Yeah.
Exercise where you have to breathe into your diaphragm. So if it means going for a jog or going for a swim or something like that, as soon as you get up or close enough to, just to reconnect you with your body right at the start of the day.
Yeah, I found that since I've sort of realised that fear and anger is what is keeping me in it, I've actually had a desire to start swimming.
Good.
In the morning, because we have a pool. So
Yeah.
I've always been quite, don't really like pools because of the fear. I don't like the cold.
Yeah.
And now I've found that getting
So
up
we'll
and
address with two issues here,
Yeah.
like fear and the...
yeah.
Yeah.
With the laying out, I've found that actually does work good. It's just when there's times where I am disconnected when I go to do that, which is during the middle of the day, and I feel the suppression.
Yep.
And then
Do you work for somebody else or work for yourself?
I work for a boss, and
Right.
me and him work side by side.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have you described to him what's going on, and you know?
Yeah,
he knows
totally.
what's going on?
I've given him some audio which he listens to, so
Yeah.
he's quite.
So he's au fait with what's going on. If every time you notice yourself going out of body, if you can put down tools and go for a jog or a swim straight away and then come back to work, even if you've got to work a half an hour later or something like that, that will help you reconnect with your body. You need to stay connected with your body as much as you possibly can, and then when you've got some private time, allow yourself to feel your fear about these anger projections. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, when you allow yourself to feel the fear of the anger projections, what will happen is that you will slowly come to just feel the fear instead of acting upon your fear. At the moment, you're acting upon the fear by going out of body, and that's what causes the rest of the results. Is the actual act of going out of body causes the other results. And that's what they're hooked into.
Yeah.
They're hooked into that.
And it seems when I do go out of body, I don't sort of totally come back unless I've hurt myself.
Yes.
And that's, I suppose, when they get their fix, that they've laughed and they've, yeah.
Can you see also the act of hurting yourself causes you to have some pain in your body?
Physical pain.
Which brings you back into your body.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why oftentimes you will hurt yourself, because you're actually hurting yourself to bring yourself back into your body, right? So that's the irony of a lot of these law of attractions. They're already telling you what you need to do. Get back in your body and you'll be right, sort of thing, right? But what you need to do is allow yourself to start focusing not as a daily practice to get into your body, get into your body. This will also help you get into a lot of your other emotions, because it's the way you've avoided emotion in the past has been getting out of body. So if you can stay present in your body, it's going to help you immensely with regard to this. And these spirits won't put up with it very long. The reason why they won't is because, they've been hooked into doing this with you for years, right? All your life. How old are you now?
25 now.
25. So 25 years they've been hooked into doing this with you, pretty much, right? So do you think after a week of not doing it, they're going to be beside themselves, right? They're going to want to find another person pronto that they can do it to because they can't do it to you anymore. So you'll find this situation will change very rapidly for you. It's not the same kind of situation as many others. See, many other situations are not quite as obvious in terms of like many other situations as sexual projection type situations or other things like that. They're sometimes a lot harder to heal. This situation can be healed very rapidly because these spirits are going to give up very rapidly. Because if you take away what gives them their kicks, what are they going to do with that?
Yeah, I feel different ones come and go at times because it depends what situations I'm in, whether I'm actually next to a woman or next to a man.
Yes.
Because there was a little bit self-punishing as well. So there was an instance where I threw something to the side and my wife walked past and I didn't actually notice she was walking there.
Yeah.
And it nearly hit her. And she mentioned that, and straight away I went into, I feel bad about that. But at the same time I went out of body, and I was actually sawing a fence post at the time. And what I'd done is I'd slipped with my saw and I'd cut my left arm.
Yeah.
And then blood came out and I woke up and I just realised that every time that I feel bad about doing something, I hurt myself.
Yes. And that's a very important thing for everyone. Every time you injure yourself, it is an act of self-punishment emotionally. So, you know, I have quite a few of them some days, you'll notice, where I've had a bandage here and a bandage there or whatever. And that's because when you go into a self-punishing act, you will usually physically act it out. At the soul level, you finish up physically acting out and punish yourself physically as well. Yep. And that's very common.
Thank you.